From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
A bar south of Big Timber getting some attention for what some say are racist comments on social media by its owner. How that owner reacting and what those who take issue with the comments are saying just ahead.
I'm Joe St. George in Washington. It's Labor Day, so what's the status of America's labor market? We break down the latest numbers and the impact on this midterm election next.
Well, happy Monday, Southwest Montana. 6th, boy, that is
it's hard to watch.
Gross in the air there in the mining city this morning. Sorry about that for your Labor Day Monday. Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here working.
Yeah, we are putting the labor in Labor Day.
Laboring on Labor Day. Boy, that is just nasty out there.
It really is. And our air quality isn't going to get better until we get a frontal boundary move through, and we probably won't see that until mid to late part of the week. So unfortunately, we don't have the greatest air quality. It may kind of have a little ebb and flow. I think that's our positive at this point. So we'll have points where maybe it's a little better.
Wow.
Morning temperatures cooling off nicely, 45 in Butte, 49 in Belgrade. We have some haze in Bozeman, and we can look at it right there on our camera on the MSU campus. Yeah,
nice color.
It is nice color. It makes for a beautiful sunrise. It is going to be hot and hazy again today, and it does look like we're going to see breezy conditions as that smoke continues to pile its way into the region. We'll talk more in depth about when things may start to shift up for us here in Southwest Montana. We'll talk about that from the weather patio in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:32 now, our top story this half hour. A police high-speed chase started in Bozeman yesterday, ended with the arrest of a driver near Rocky Creek Road. Police say it started just before 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the 1100 block of 19th Avenue when a vehicle sped away from a traffic stop. Now, officers learned the vehicle was stolen, pursued it as the driver fled east in the westbound lane of Interstate 90. After police used spike strips to flatten one of the vehicle's tires, the driver turned down frontage road, eventually crashing on the railroad tracks near Rocky Creek Road. Driver then fled on foot but was found by a police canine unit and arrested. Police are asking anyone with information about the incident to call 406-582-2245 to speak with an officer. Elsewhere in the Treasure State, a big controversy brewing in a tiny Montana town. The Roadkill Saloon in McLeod, which is south of Big Timber, has long gotten a lot of attention for its memorable name. But now it's controversial comments made by the bar's owner that have some vowing never to stop there again. TN's Haley Monaco has the story.
We're here at Holly's Roadkill Saloon, where the owner made some controversial comments online during the COVID-19 pandemic. Just outside the tiny town of McLeod sits Holly's Roadkill Saloon, where the owner continues to face backlash and has been since the start of the coronavirus pandemic for this, a controversial and racist reference to Asians and COVID-19.
Well, you wouldn't tell somebody a victim of a crime that, oh, get over it, was 3 years ago.
Chris Gerardo is one of the many appalled by what he read and not willing to let it go, in part because there have been several more posts with divisive language in the months since. We caught up with owner Holly Tinch, who stands by what she's written.
You want to call me an Irish name? Have at it. Ask me if I care. I don't.
Gerardo was adopted from South Korea and took the statements personally.
You can see that I'm of Asian descent. And so I've been in fights in high school because I was the only brown kid. So yes, I took offense to that.
He and others are fighting back the only way they know how, with bad Google reviews for the saloon.
And the owner tried to post my personal phone number to get people to harass me.
But Tinch sees it much differently. She's convinced most aren't upset by these comments, but instead by her decision to make the establishment a 21 and older saloon.
I've never had any fights in here. I've never had any problems in here, except for people wanting to bring their kids here. And I'm not a babysitter. I'm not a racist person at all. And if you think that I am, that's your problem, not mine.
Tinch says she is standing by her rights as an American to say what she wants and says the bad reviews haven't hurt, but have actually helped bring in business.
And I'm going to stand by my First Amendment and my Second Amendment and the rest of them.
In McLeod, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
All right, 6:35 on this Labor Day. It makes sense to talk about labor. That's what President Biden is doing at events in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania today. But what is actually the state of our labor market, and why does it especially matter this year when it comes to inflation and interest rates? Our Joe St. George explains.
What does Labor Day mean to you and your family? Does it mean one last trip to the beach before summer ends? Does it mean a trip to an amusement park or one last summer hike? The truth is, Labor Day is about labor. It's about the workforce. It's about unions in many cases. So what's the status of America's workforce and America's economy? Here's the reality. Right now, America's workforce is, well, working. The unemployment rate is 3.7%. That's close to a record low. For perspective, during the 2009 recession, it hovered around 10%. In April of 2020, when COVID lockdowns began, it was at 14.7%. In fact, some economists say the biggest issue right now with our economy is that business owners are having trouble finding employees. In July, there were 11.2 million job openings across the U.S. That's nearly a record, too. It's why some businesses can't stay open or offer the level of service they would like. Job data is important because it shows businesses are still hiring and that business owners are instituting a hiring freeze because of a possible recession. Job openings also mean you still may have leverage on your boss when it comes to asking for a raise, since finding workers to replace you could be challenging. But the Federal Reserve, the independent central bank in our country, isn't necessarily celebrating all these job numbers. Chairman Jerome Powell is trying to lower inflation, and some economists believe too many job openings can lead to higher wages, which in turn makes inflation worse. It may sound odd, but some economists would actually like higher unemployment rates and less money in your pockets so that inflation can come down. It's why the Fed is continuing to raise interest rates, making credit card debt and loans more costly. Still, on this Labor Day, the data indicates many workers in our country still feel underappreciated, which is why unions are seeing a resurgence. In 2022, unions have won over 640 elections. That's the most in 20 years, according to Bloomberg. Over 200 Starbucks locations are unionized on this Labor Day for the first time. In fact, the first half of 2022 saw a 76% increase in the number of strikes nationwide because employees had just had enough. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
All right, we've heard it for years. Millions of Americans struggle to afford the cost of prescription drugs. Passing of the Inflation Reduction Act will bring some relief. But as Jesse Cohen explains, there are gaps that some states are pushing to fill by importing lower-cost drugs.
For the first time in American history, the federal government will eventually have the power to negotiate prescription drug prices.
So up until just the last few weeks, this country has not negotiated the price of drugs with manufacturers.
This change is because of the recent passing of the Inflation Reduction Act. It's something Kim Bimsteffer, the executive director of the Colorado Department of Healthcare Policy and Financing, says is long overdue.
About a third of Coloradans and a third of Americans don't take their drugs the way they're supposed to because they can't afford to.
The Inflation Reduction Act will allow the government to negotiate the prices of 10 drugs.
Those drugs that they're going to negotiate, they'll probably be those really high-cost drugs. About less than 2% of drugs are so expensive, they're consuming about 50% of the prescription drug spend.
But as Adam Fox, the deputy director of the Colorado Consumer Health Initiative, explains, it's going to be a while.
It's a bit of a long runway, and realistically, consumers aren't going to see some of those benefits probably until 2026.
Colorado is one state that just recently made strides in their drug importation program by signing contracts on both sides of the U.S.-Canada border. If approved by the FDA, Coloradans will be able to purchase an imported drug for around 60% less than the U.S. cost.
This solution is very complementary to that. Many of those drugs were not permitted to import through the federal government's guidelines. So it's a nice complementary to have what has just recently been passed and this importation program operating side by side.
That just raises the importance of some of the state level work in our drug importation program, because that can potentially provide more impact faster and sooner.
Lauren Reevely is the drug importation program manager.
So these contracts are to set up the new marketplace and the supply chain to bring imported products to Colorado.
She says the state plans to submit its application to the FDA this fall. Florida was the first state to file an application. Vermont, Maine, New Mexico, and New Hampshire are others that have importation programs. But so far, no state programs have been approved by the feds.
I think what we've built is repeatable by other states, and we don't want to be the lone state that is successful, we want to help bring others along.
And what we often see is if enough states pass similar policies, that usually moves to the federal level.
The work to lower prescription drug prices stems from a long history.
Sometimes we've got to disrupt the status quo. And this process that we're going through is going to do that.
So they say the Inflation Reduction Act, in combination with federal approval of drug importation programs from states, will create a massive change for Americans. In Denver, Colorado, I'm Jessie Cohen reporting.
All right, 6:40, time for a break. When we come back.